This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the ball, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judgy blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live. We've got a very special show for you today from the ballpark in West Sacramento. After the A's got the victory yesterday, 14-3 over the Twins, they end the losing streak. And a very wise man once told me, the great Dick Callahan, there's a reason why your windshield is larger than your rear view mirror. Why? Because what's going forward is more important in the past. And we're not talking about the past anymore. We're not talking about losing. The A's with the big win. You're going to hear from the manager, Mark Kotsay, today at 5:45. And he's going to tell you, still in it. They are still in it, and that is the belief. We're going to have both mayors today. Kevin McCarty, the mayor of Sacramento, and Martha Guerrero, the mayor of West Sacramento. They're both going to be here, just after 5 o'clock, I believe? So they'll be here at 5:30. And Ramon Hernandez, who caught the big three, they are going to be going into the A's Hall of Fame. He's going to join us after batting practice. And some guy who is a San Francisco radio Bay Area Hall of Famer, he's TBD at some point. Ken Korach is going to show up. How are you, Steve Sachs?
I'm doing great. I feel Ken Korach very close.
Do you feel like Korach will be on time today?
Yeah, I think so. I think he has a special affinity for your show, and I think he will be.
You know, when you're a play-by-play guy, you need to be on time.
Yeah.
The game starts, and you have to be there.
You must be there. That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Famer, Ken Korach, is here.
It was in Baltimore when I was working for the White Sox when I forgot to do the top of the third inning. So those are the memories that I have when the Orioles come in sound. Speaking of,
you were always on the
time.
road with them when you were doing the White Sox, right?
That's correct. No, I did about half and half.
What? So where was this where you forgot?
The White Sox and the Orioles were playing at Camden Yards. It's a long story.
What
it's kind of evolved.
What were you doing that you forgot your inning?
Yeah, I think it was the top of the fifth. No, I mean, the abridged version. I'm not sure anybody really cares. In the old days when CBS had the game of the week on radio, they would do the hometown inning. So the local broadcaster, the visiting team, would do the top of the fifth. And the home team, their announcer, would do the bottom of the fifth on the network game. And it was axiomatic that it was always a 1-2-3 inning. You had your big chance on the network, and the inning took 2 minutes to play. I never did the fifth inning on the White Sox games. But Ed Farmer, they asked Ed to do the top of the fifth.
Ed Farmer.
The great Ed Farmer, the late, great, my partner there. They asked him to do the top of the fifth on CBS. Well, I finished the bottom of the fourth, and being a creature of habit, thinking, I'm not doing the fifth, I was wandering through the press box at Camden Yards while Ed was over on CBS, and the White Sox radio network was a rudderless ship.
There was nobody?
Nobody, no.
Wow.
Talk about freak out city. Dead air for a whole inning?
So the engineer found, he was, racing down the hall.
At what point did you get back there and do the inning?
I missed a couple of pitches for sure. Oh, yeah. It wasn't the brightest.
You could just say I was just letting it breathe.
Yeah, right. It wasn't like the brightest moment of my career.
And back then you weren't like Radio Hall of Famer Ken Korach.
Well,
you were just the guy that comes in every once in a while. Get your ass back in the booth.
Yeah, I lived to talk about it.
How are you?
I'm good. It's great to be with you guys.
Good to be with you.
We're talking about a win. You're going to be broadcasting talking about a win tonight. They scored 2 touchdowns. And
a win today, and that's a winning streak.
Correct.
Right? What was the line in Major League? Was it 2 wins in a row, or was it 3?
I believe it was 3, but whatever.
3, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you win 2 in a row, you got a win streak.
Right, yeah.
Right. Ken, do you think some of the changes that they made an immediate impact? Was it happenstance, or just because it was about time to win?
I think it was time to win. I think the law of averages, and I think Max Muncy not only hit the 3-run homer in the first inning, but he did it in an emphatic way. Little bat flip. It was really, and I thought that was kind of a dramatic time, and I think maybe it did early in the game flip the momentum to the A's. And then, Spence coming out and throwing strikes was big.
Huge.
He got through 5 innings, and he threw, 55 pitches.
Amazing.
Which was big. And then Michael Kelly, he hadn't pitched in a year in a major league game, and I think he's going to bolster the bullpen.
Yeah, the one thing that we talked about before the game, just, because I'm always looking at the numbers, and, when Mark Kotsay and David Force both come on this set and they tell us this team is built on home runs and slug. Mm-hmm. And then you look at those last 21 games, and they'd only hit 19 home runs and 10 were solo. Stella needed to get her groove back. Started hitting the ball out of the ballpark with runners on, and with Tyler Soderstrom with the 2-run shot, and of course his first career grand slam, the fourth multi-homer 2-homer game in his career, and you saw that with multiple guys going deep with runners on. It feels like the A's got back to themselves yesterday. What'd you see?
Yeah, and I agree. And I think even during the long stretch of losing, they were getting guys on base, but they were struggling with runners in scoring position, which has been a little bit symptomatic because I've always felt they needed more batting average on the club to go with the long ball. Now, Andujar provided that for them, but now he's on the IL. So, yeah, home runs are huge, and I think they really need to turn around the disparity in terms of the home runs at this ballpark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Compared to what they've allowed. You're
probably getting homered too much in your own park.
Exactly.
But so you mentioned Michael Kelly and Max Muncy, but there's another guy coming back pretty soon, I believe, and that's Nick Kurtz.
Yeah.
Imagine if he comes back and he's able to start spinning on some balls like he was doing before he got hurt. He was pretty hot before he got hurt. We got Lawrence Butler that's hot now.
Yeah.
Of course, even Jacob Wilson's getting hotter than he was before. We could see, a new beginning here for this offense.
Kurtz was hot like his last 4 games before he went on the IL. He was swinging the bat great. He's going to go out and play tomorrow, 7 innings, and then they'll reevaluate after that and see how he feels. It may be that he'll be back pretty soon. But I wanted to ask you a question about Jacob Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Because the American League record for a rookie for batting average in a season is 350, right? By Ichiro. It wasn't really a rookie, but he was also the MVP that year. Right. 2001. He had a great year. What's the ceiling for this guy? He's hitting, what is he hitting? 363 now?
Yeah.
You played the middle infield in the big leagues for years.
Mm-hmm.
What's the ceiling for him?
Ken, I think this guy's different. A lot more talent than I had. And I look at him and I think, okay, he hit 400 at Grand Canyon College. He hit 433 and 3 stops in the minor leagues his first time in pro ball. Then he comes up here and now he's hitting 360. Okay, I see a pattern here. It's not. Oh my, this guy's getting some breaks. He's pretty good. No. This is something that could be. You don't want to speak too soon, but he's doing things like you mentioned the names of, Tony Gwynn, Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs. There's guys, George Brett, that were in a different league than everybody else. This guy's doing things where I just shake my head. I can't believe how good he is and how underrated he is defensively as well. This is a huge star in the making, I think. And I think what the organization knows is we have get so wrapped up in all the sabermetrics and whatnot, but they are also smart enough to realize, because they have a lot of smart people here, they realize that this guy here, that guy over there, Wilson, just throw him batting practice, hit him some ground balls, and move. Just get out of his way.
Don't mess with him.
Don't fill his head up with stuff. Yeah. Just let him play. That's all you got to do, and he's going to be a boon for this club.
Well, it's one thing we're going to talk about in the NBC pregame today that you can also hear on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network and 650 KSTE. We had Max Muncy on the set yesterday after the win. It was the first guy we had here since the Yankees on that Saturday. It's been a while. And I've been preaching and talking with Steve a lot about it, where it's great we have all this data, and a lot of these young players like a lot of data, but there's a lot of information. We're learning that it really hurt J.J. Bleday. Like, he's so many thoughts in his head. He went down to AAA just to clear those thoughts. Looks like Seth Brown, who is back, and Johnny Pareda called up as Shea Langoliers goes on the DL, and Drew Avens was designated for assignment. But we talked yesterday about just go out there, see ball, hit ball, pitcher, just go out, throw strikes, just make it the KISS system. Keep it simple, stupid. And Max Muncy backed that up where he said, it's like yesterday was for all of us, just go out like it's Little League and play with your hair on fire and have fun. And it takes back to Jacob Wilson.
Love it.
It's like
you talked about that on the pregame show yesterday.
Yeah, so
that's exactly
what he said.
He's been talking about it for a while.
That's how Jacob Wilson plays, right? Jacob Wilson is not sitting there grinding video. He's not sitting there grinding data. He's coming out of the batter's box, swinging. So as Sack says, just leave him alone. Like, he is a guy I kind of wish everybody on the team during these hard times would look at, because, they start looking at so much video and they start thinking so much. Jacob Wilson's going up there, see ball, hit ball. It's that simple.
Yeah, and the naysayers talk about him and they say he doesn't have the great exit velocity.
Oh, I hate that.
Right? And they don't talk about, they say he doesn't have the bat speed. He has 8 home runs.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway through the season.
I saw one go 420 the other day.
He
Pretty
really,
good velocity.
if he's so smart that he knows if somebody's going to come in on him in the right count for him, he's going to turn on it and hit the ball out of the ballpark. I mean, this is not – what he does is not just happenstance.
No.
The other day in Toronto, last Sunday, Butler leads off with a walk. First baseman's holding the runner. The right side is wide open. He just flips it through the hole over there. He knows exactly what he's doing.
He's super smart.
Yeah.
And I asked him that question, Towny. You remember on the set here, I said, when you see a cement mixer coming in there, your eyes light up. I can see on the replay that it looks like you're trying to hit a home run. And he did everything but say that. He said, well, you got to give what they give you. You got to give it right back. And when you get a cement mixer like that, and he's waiting on the ball, and he said he just tried to hit the ball hard in the air. Okay. Well, I say that's a home run.
Hard in the air goes out.
Yes, it does. He's got plenty of velocity. He's got plenty of launch angle. I don't know why they tell these kids that, but it doesn't matter, because he's one of the best players in the league. Not only is he going to win the Rookie of the Year by a landslide if he just keeps going, he's also going to be an all-star, and man, they got something real special here.
Been a while since we were talking with David Feldman about the quarter century team, RA's historian, and Marcus Semien turned himself into a really good player, a fine player, and he finished third in the MVP balloting. He was great for the Athletics, born in San Francisco, grew up in San Francisco, then at Cal Bear, and what he meant for the East Bay and in that moment. But still, the best shortstop that we've seen in a long time was Miguel Tejada. He was special. He was an MVP. He's the last guy to get 200 hits. I mean, it's nice to really start to see Jacob blossom and has the ability to be a star player, Ken. We haven't really seen that consistent type offense that this kid might be able to provide since Miguel Tejada.
Tejada, to me, is pretty close to a Hall of Famer. Now, the off-the-field stuff and all that has gotten in the way, I think, of him getting the notoriety that he would have gotten.
Yeah.
Because he had some incredible years for the Orioles, too. I mean,
yes, he did.
I loved calling Miggy's games. I mean, he has a special place in my heart. So, he's Hall of Famer, of course, and there have been some good shortstop. Bobby Crosby was the Rookie of the Year after Miguel left. So Jed Lowry played well for the A's on some great teams. So they've had their fill. They've had some really good shortstop.
Ken, in your great career, I mean, you've seen things happen similar to this. You've seen some long losing streaks before, and it happens to most teams in some sort. Whether it's 9 games, 11 games. I mean, the 20 is pretty extensive, but we've seen this happen before, right? And they find a way out of it.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that it happened kind of early in the year. I think the other thing that happened is that they can still swing the bats well.
Right.
I think you would say that that it would be kind of a forlorn kind of a thing, right? If they had everybody on their club was hitting 205.
Yes.
The top 4 guys in their lineup today have OPS of over 800. So they have to get the pitching sorted out.
Yeah.
Runners in scoring position, that's got to improve.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of talent, especially offensively, and if they can sort out the pitching, then I think there's time enough for them to still have a positive year.
Do you want to ask Ramon? Why? I want you, come right over here. Ramon Hernandez,
The great Ramon Hernandez.
former All-Star, what he did as a catcher for the Athletics. You ask him, because I know you wanted to ask him about the walk-off.
Yeah, right. So one of his greatest moments ever as an Athletic was in the playoffs against the Red Sox. So the 12th inning?
Yeah.
Bottom of the 12th. Riveting game at the Coliseum. Runner at third base. 2 out. You lay down a bunt, and the A's have a walk-off, and Bill King says, the element of surprise reigns supreme. Can you take us through what you were thinking as you came to the plate, Ramon, in that situation?
Yeah, it's like it's one of those games that I wasn't having a great game at all offensively. I wasn't feeling good at the play. I feel like that was like my 6th at bat, and I remember I don't think I even got a hit in that game. So I was like, okay, I can't take a shot at bunting because they got dead low pitching. It's a sinker ball guy, so bunt to third base kind of easier because the ball's gonna come in close to me already. So I was like, okay, we home team. If I bunt it and it's good, we win and that's it. We go home. If we're losing, we got one more inning to play because we home. That was my thing in my mind was if it goes bad, we just got to go out and play one more inning. But if it goes good, then we finish the game right here so we don't have to keep playing because we're almost tired.
What were you thinking after that? And the club had won the game and the Coliseum was going crazy.
Every time you go to the postseason and you're trying to help for a win a game, it's always one of the greatest moments as a baseball player because you play through the season all the way. They get to the postseason. So when you get to the postseason, it's like, now what I can do to keep moving on because you're looking at the World Series. So you're playing against a very good team also and just trying to do the best you can and trying to play the best game you can, less errors, so you can beat this team because you're playing also one of the best teams too.
There you go. There you go, guys.
There you go. Well, thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
Anytime, guys.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right.
Bring this guy in.
Bring him in.
Thank you.
He caught the big 3.
That's the reason why he's here today.
All right. Okay, buddy.
The great Ken Korach, the Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer here on A's Cast Live. And Ramon Hernandez is going to be here to talk a lot. And we can talk about what's going on with the ball club, what's going on with the staff, how everybody's holding up. But obviously, it was a huge announcement that on September 13th against the Reds, our Hall of Fame class, the broadcaster Monty Moore, we all know what an incredible career he had, especially with the A's coming from Kansas City to Oakland. And then the big 3 going in together, Barry Zito, you got Mark Mulder and Tim Hudson. We've interviewed all 3. You've seen them here on the show. We wanted to bring on Ramon to talk about, because we're thinking about, well, who knows these guys? Well, no one. We looked and said, well, the guy out here knows them better than anybody else as you caught them. What were your first thoughts when you heard that not only are they all 3 going to be A's Hall of Famers, but they're going in together?
I really congratulate them for the bottom of my heart. They were great guys. They have a great career. They're great pitchers. All the way to the year they play here, and also when they leave Oakland, they keep pitching for another team. They all got great careers. I'm so happy for them. It's always great when the guys that you play for so long time and they making it to the Hall of Fame, to the A's Hall of Fame. It's an amazing feeling. So that means I play with good players.
Yeah,
that's right. Ramon, those 3 guys, just incredible what they've done. But, they all seem to be different. Great, but different in their own ways. Which one do you think had the most dominating stuff out of those 3 guys?
It was hard to say dominant because all 3 win at least for 5 years straight. I think the less they won between those 3 was 15 games.
Wow.
Each. So it was like 15, 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, 15, 16, 17. So it's like when you have started to win over 15 games, not even won 3 of them, it's a lot of games. They're going to take you to the postseason at some point because that's what they did. They're telling you who got the best staff. It's really different. It's a hard question.
Coin, right?
It's like who got different attitudes. I can say that. You know what I mean? It's like I think the stuff they got, it was different. I would say Mulder will have more. You don't know when Mulder was pitching. You say great stuff. He threw more complete games than all of them.
Yeah, no doubt.
So he was the guy that always go deep in the game. He was very smart. He knows when he needs a ground ball. He knows when his pitch count was going up, what to throw. They get quick outs and go through the inning and trying to go longer in the game. Mulder, you don't know. He was so calm. It's like you don't know if he was pitching good, he was pitching bad. Because he was really calm. Like Cito was, between calm and he gets angry once in a while, but it takes a lot to get Cito angry. And Cito was the type of guy that every game he always get a lot of foul balls. So because you get a lot of foul balls, his pitch count always goes up. So he always goes 7, most of the time 7, 7, 7, because by the time you already got over 100 pitches. And Hodgson, it was totally different. He was like the guy that gets mad angry quick. Like when he was pitching, he was so competitive that he never want to lose a game. It's like I'm pitching and never losing. I mean, it's the kind of attitude that he was get so angry quicker than all of them because the game, like, cause you always want to do perfect. And and I would say Hody, they all got great stuff. Hodgson always was 7, 8. Morley was most of the time 8. You sleep, it was complete game, and Cedar was 6, 7, 8 sometimes. But they all got great stuff, and they know how to use it. They were so smart about it. So they was trying to get guys out, trying to get deep in the game, and that's what I think they all got great career because they was really smart when they was pitching. They know already what they want to do. Every inning they come out, they already have an idea what they want to do that inning.
When I think of Tim Hudson, we're looking back on it, and he's borderline not just an A's Hall of Famer and a Braves Hall of Famer. He's borderline an MLB Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Famer when you look at his numbers. And we always talked about in the big games, you wanted the ball in his hands. Just as what you were saying, he was so competitive. There was just something about him that he rose his game up and he could battle Randy Johnson or Roger Clemens. There was something about Tim Hudson that the moment never got too big.
Yeah, he always believed that when he come out and pitch, don't matter who was pitching the other side, he always want to face the number 1 on the other side. And especially if he facing the number 1, he would go out and say, I ain't coming out first in the other pitcher, though. So that was his mindset. Every time he come out, he said, I ain't coming out first. So it was so competitive. Like every game that he pitched, it was 100%. I'm going to win. It was the kind of fire that he got. Wow. That's why he was so intense. Sometimes we have to calm him down because sometimes he was forgetting what to do because he was sometimes gets so angry about it when he's pitching, but hey, that's how he was. I mean, and that fire, that trying to be so perfect, that's what it pushed him through his great career, the career that he had. That's how he was.
Yeah, Ramon, about Barry Zito, I don't think enough gets said about how smooth and easy that fastball was. It worked up in the zone, it neutralized either side of the plate because it was so fluid. But that curveball is the first time, Ramon, where I've seen him actually buckle the knees of a right and a left-handed hitter. It's amazing. I mean, how many feet did that thing break? I've never seen a curveball that big.
It only was a 12-6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really big, and it wasn't the pop so high. It was pop like at the lower where he throws the fastball, and you just break so quick.
Same window, right?
Same window.
Yeah.
It was like the same, and he couldn't play with his fastball in, out, up, and his changeup was also very good. His changeup was, so when he put that breaking ball, he can put that breaking ball. He just got so good out of it that he would work every time saying, Ramon, I gotta control my breaking ball, and I have to learn how to throw it backdoor, back foot, backdoor, back foot. So he always was trying to work to get the perfect all his pitches. If I figure out my breaking ball, I can throw it in and out the right-handers. Either sometime inside the lefty when he fouled off 2 minutes away, he always was trying to do that. And I think all he work they put in, he got to the point that he was doing that. I couldn't go backdoor with his breaking ball. I couldn't go back foot with his breaking ball. So it was something that he gave me more weapons to play with. And his foul, he can put it anywhere he wants. So he got me. That's why he always got a lot of foul ball because he was always around the strike zone more than anyone. So that's why he doesn't have many complete games because always a lot of foul balls. So by the 8-7, he was already over 100 pitches. So you have to take him out. But those 3 guys together and combined, when I had him here in Oakland, it was so fun to catch because I think they were all competing, who winning more games in this season between each other. That's how how competitive they was.
Yeah. Speaking of A's catching greatness, along with yourself, we miss him dearly. Ray Fosse, who I used to call the face of the franchise. Fosse meant so much to all of us. And Ray used to always say, with Barry Zito and that curveball, it's about is he going to see it? The big thing was, is that umpire going to call it? Because the curveball was so good that he could trick umpires. That's how good That's how good his curveball was. So how is the each day to day or start to start, how is the umpire going to call that great curveball?
It started more at the beginning when Ciro's career because, after a while, everybody knows about his curva was so big. And I just told the umpire, just to stay on the breaking ball. Don't just call it so quick. Stay a little bit longer, trying to stay long because it's a big breaking ball.
So you had to work with the umpires.
Yeah, I have a lot of breaks. So just don't go so fast. If you see it up, just give it up and call it a ball because it's going to go down. So don't just stay on it longer, trying to stay long as you can because his breaking ball, it was pretty big. I was like, how big it can be, some umpire. And soon they see it, like, yeah, Ramon, it's pretty big. I got to stay on it longer. But after that, everything, the work is spread around about his breaking ball. Everybody was talking about his breaking ball, but the other pitches that he got, it makes his breaking ball look even better because he just can put the ball whatever he wants to.
Yeah. Ramon, when you tried to frame that breaking ball real quick, did you try to catch that closer to your body and let it get more break in it?
It depends how it started. I knew so because I catch him a long time. If he's coming too high, they have to wait longer.
Yeah.
If he was kind of short up quicker, then I got to stay my arm. I already get at some point after catching them day in, day out, you kind of have idea when his breaking was going to, you have to wait or you have to cut it before it goes all the way down.
Yeah, I see.
All right, let's end on this because we really appreciate your time. We know you got to get going. I just want you to tell everybody, obviously the team's struggling. Obviously the team is not where they want to be, but just tell everybody how hard the club's working, especially this coaching staff that you're a part of that works tirelessly.
You know what? Every team goes through bad time. It's a long season.
Sure.
Nobody can be perfect. Right now, it got us in that span, but we're going to come out. We got great players. We got great coaches. We work with them a lot. They work really hard. We work with them. We're trying to help them the most we can. And the players in the locker room, they're all giving the best, all they got, every game for turn this thing around. So only that we ask them just keep going out with that attitude, with that energy. And because the work they put on, that's going to pay off. That's going to come out. This is going to turn around. And we all working really hard to it. And it's a part of the season that every team goes through it. It's a long season and every team goes to the span of losing games. And now we already started coming out. And we're going to start this road trip being great. And just keep moving on. It's a long season. But I know one thing. This guy work hard. And when you work really hard, good thing is going to come out.
Yep. The great Ramon Hernandez, former All-Star, with us here on A's Cast Live. We always appreciate your time. Good luck against Baltimore, and let's go get some more wins.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ramon.
Thanks.
Let's pause for station identification right here on A's Cast. How good was that? That was fantastic. We'll react to that. We'll also react to the challenge system coming to baseball faster than you think. We saw it down in Arizona. Fans loved it. I loved it. We got a lot to talk about right here on A's Cast Live.
Here's the pitch, and it's a hit. Folsom Lake Ford has stepped up again, winning the Triple Crown Award, Ford Motor Company's highest honor. Now 7 years in a row, Folsom Lake Ford is a top sales leader in the U.S., along with being top in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Now that's a home run. Don't miss the huge savings on your favorite models at your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford, in the Folsom Auto Mall.
New A's Hall of Famer Tim Hudson joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live to talk about his relationship with Mark Mulder and Barry Zito.
I mean, honestly, I think it would be kind of strange if we didn't get an honor like this all together at the same time. I think we were all pretty much, if you mentioned one, you obviously you mentioned the other two. And I think and I love that. I love the fact that we were kind of linked into that group together. And, there's a lot of comparisons, us three, to, a lot of the great pitching staffs that Atlanta Braves had back in the day. And me being from the South and being a Braves fan growing up, I knew that was a pretty big deal to be compared to those three guys. And and I really do think that there was a moment where the three of us, I think we could have matched up with anybody almost in the history of the game in a rotation because, I felt like at any moment Zito was going to go out there and throw a no-hitter or Mulder was going to go out there and throw a no-hitter. They were going to get a ton of swings and misses. And I felt like it was a pretty special run of 3 or 4 years that we all three had together. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was so much fun to be a part of, and I was a better pitcher for it, for sure.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast. Calling all kids ages 4 to 15. Join the A's and the Rivercats for our free, family-friendly Play Ball Weekend event in West Sacramento. Saturday, June 14th, from 10 a.m. to noon at the Alice Norman Bright Playfields. Enjoy baseball and softball skill stations, games, giveaways, face painting, and more. Your favorite mascots, Stomper and Dinger, will be there. Space is limited, so register today at athletics.com/playball. That's athletics.com/playball. Calling all college and grad students. Grab your friends and head to the ballpark with this special offer. Save up to 50% off select regular season games throughout the 2025 season. Get your discounted tickets at athletics.com/student.
A's Cast Live continues from West Sacramento. Here's Chris Townsend.
Bluff at third by Chavez. And a bunt, third base side. Miller charging, barehand picks up, can't make a play. A's win. Ramon Hernandez surprises the Red Sox. He dropped down a bunt on the second pitch, and Miller can make no play. The A's have won the game. And look at him get Raymond in the outfield in right field. Hernandez ran through first base on the right field line. The team has mobbed him in the grass in shallow right field. Holy Toledo, the element of surprise reigns supreme. And they're all standing and admiring and applauding. Hudson and Martinez are not involved in the final. It's a Ramon Hernandez surprise special with the bases loaded and a one-strike count. A quickly dropped bunt, perfectly placed toward third base, allowing Chavez to score the winning run. And the final score in the first game of the ALDS in 12. The A's 5, the Red Sox 4.
Martinez, and getting to hear two A's greats, two A's Hall of Famers. Wow. How good was that? Hearing that voice. Ray Fosse on the clip, along with Bill King. Doesn't get any better than that.
And that element of surprise, man, you lay that bunt down, and like Ramon was telling us, if it works, your game's over. And if it doesn't, you go extra innings. So, he had it all thought out properly.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
That's just hearing that just makes you miss those two guys, and of course Ray Fosse. Okay, so I wanted to look at it. It was the fourth spring training game against the Texas Rangers. I want to say that's Surprise, Arizona. Is that correct? Texas and Kansas City are together up in Surprise. It's just one of those broadcasts where I got to carry Johnny Dasco for a spring training game. Teach him a little bit about baseball.
Teach him,
get him through it.
Right.
That's what Delaire, our boss says. Just hold his hand, get him through it. So that's what I was doing there on the fourth game. But Johnny and I are sitting there, and I want to say it was in the first inning. We got to see it. Batter taps his hat. Next thing you know, that pops up on the scoreboard. Here comes the pitch, comes down. Boom, strike. Fans went nuts.
Yeah, right.
They went nuts. And I was like, just watching the crowd. Johnny had a great call on it, and he was describing what was going on. And I was just sitting there watching the crowd, and I went, this is a winner.
Yeah.
First time I saw it, you know when something's a winner.
Yeah.
You just need to see it one time. I went,
right.
I think this is awesome. Yeah. But forget about me. I'm on the broadcast. It's the fans. We're in the entertainment business. The fans were loving it. And then after that, every single time I saw it, you just saw the fans' reaction, and you're like, we need this now.
Yeah.
And so baseball's hopefully talking about, making this happen in 2026 because you want to add technology that gets people excited. This might be the first technology that actually fans will say, I like this. This makes me want to attend and watch baseball games more.
I think it helps because two things about this is it's not intrusive. It doesn't take a long time and you're looking over things and whatever. In football, we wanted to see it be a little snappier, a little go under the hood, but get it right. We want to get the thing right. That's the main thing. And you're getting it right here.
Well, and you know what football is now? Football is, no, they're challenging. Do I go to the bathroom? He's going to go under the hood. It's the worst.
Yeah, you want to get it fast.
Technology has helped the game, and obviously the clock has made the game faster, but something that from a technology standpoint that fans can really enjoy. I understand there's going to be a gambling aspect to it.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons why they're doing it, but whatever. I just know that every game that I've ever been to that we have seen the challenge system, the fans who are the most important, they are the consumer. We are trying to get more people into baseball, get more people watching, listening, attending baseball games.
Yep. Yeah, true. And it's here. You can't stop the technology. It's going to keep progressing. If it makes the games better, I think it's great. Not all the implementations of the new rules, I think, were great. I'll never get used to the runner on second base.
Why?
Because I don't like it. I don't like you work the whole.
You know why you don't like it?
Because you work the whole game.
You know why
and then
you don't like
give it up.
You're going to start liking it because you're doing post game. Because if you want to sit on this set for 18 innings, you'd be absolutely miserable.
And you know what? If I have to sit on the set for 18 innings twice a year, it's not that many.
No, but 14, 15 innings?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little much. I know. I understand that.
And it wrecks the bullpen. It changes the pitching
it's baseball.
Staff.
Part of attrition is part of the game, the war of attrition,
It's the big leagues. Guys.
Well done.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Hey, Towny, can we make we can make a go in the middle with this thing and say,
no, because you know what? I've seen the data.
How about 12 innings?
I've seen the data.
And then you throw the guy out
I've
there.
seen the data. By the time this game is getting into like the 11th inning, nobody's watching, nobody's listening.
Okay.
The stands are empty because people got to go to work the next day.
If it's just
about
that,
you guys in the big leagues want to do the war of attrition.
If it's just about that, I got you. But if that's all it's about, okay.
Well, let me ask you, are we the entertainment business?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you see the movie Titanic?
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, but was it a little long?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they threw another hour on there? We know the boat's sinking. We know the plot. The boat's going to the bottom of the ocean. I don't need you 4 hours.
Yeah.
I get a love story and I get all that, but I don't need 4 hours because I already know the boat's going down.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
Wait, the boat sank?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Spoiler,
I haven't seen the movie yet.
After 12 innings, and you throw, you throw the softball player out there.
What year was the Titanic?
1997. Oh, well, 1912, but the movie is 1997.
So it's too soon, 1912?
Yeah.
I love it.
You do? Okay.
Because I don't want to be here all night long. Because I already know what is good about a sport. Have you ever watched those long extra inning games and no one's in the stands?
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one's watching anymore on television. No one's listening on radio. So what are we doing it for?
Well, how about that ERA that's tacked onto that pitcher? I mean, he's got an extra point on there. And
that first run, he doesn't get counted on his ERA.
Yeah, the other guy does, though, right? Somebody's got to. It's got to be
No,
somewhere.
it's not. It doesn't count as an earned run.
So it's just what? It goes into the what?
Into the runs column. It's not that hard. It's a run.
Yeah. But nobody gets a kid. There's got to be some accounting for it. Somebody's got
to take the loss still. So if you go out there and pitch and you give up the one run and you lose, you still take the L.
I mean, is there an omnibus account in the county now for baseball as far as
I don't
who
care.
Gets the call?
Anytime you make a sporting contest well over 4 hours, it's a disaster.
Well, yeah, if they're over 4 hours, that's a bit long.
Well, what do you think these 15, 14 innings are?
They're once in a while.
Well, every once in a while they start piling up.
Yeah.
Well, what was the postseason game? The Giants and Nats, and they go like 18 innings where Brandon Belt. It took Brandon Belt hitting a home run to like the top of the 18th inning.
I don't think anybody was running away from that game.
I'm using it back. That's the playoffs.
Oh, I guarantee you. If it's not playoffs, everybody's running away from it.
Yeah.
The data is what it is. Yeah.
I love it.
You would be whining about how
no.
Sachs would be whining about the wind and how cold it is, and he's out here.
If you
don't buy it.
If I had a couple donuts, it wouldn't bother me at all. I'm serious. If I had a couple donuts, no problem.
I have watched you shiver out here.
You have.
And if it was for 18 innings, you'd be begging for a blanket and to go home. But you are lying.
It won't be tonight because it's nice and warm.
Right now it is.
Yeah.
We'll see what it is in 4 hours.
It'll be okay.
But this is technology that, why is football so popular? Yes, the violence. Yes, we like the contact, but it's gambling. Mm-hmm. Fantasy football is a form of gambling.
Yeah.
And all the other gambling. The ABS, people are going to be able to gamble on it.
Oh, wow. Whether you're going to throw a strike or a ball here?
Or whether it's a strike or a ball.
The next, okay, yeah.
When you do the challenge system.
Next question mark,
do you like the challenge system?
You know what? I don't mind it at all. And I'm a purist of the game, but these are fast and it's snappy. Technology's here, and we want to get it right. And as long as they don't have to go under the hood, look, they obviously got this. They got this technology from the tennis. When they go there and they see if the ball's in or out.
Hawkeye, yeah.
That's Hawkeye. That's where they got this, and it's pretty quick. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
Well, you've seen it for years now with doing games on the River Cats, so you've seen the challenge system. Yeah,
I have seen it for years doing the River Cats games. And the other thing about it is I think this really helps the hitter a lot. I see Aaron Judge get rung up balls that are low because he's so tall. Balls that are this low out of the strike zone, they ring him up. Maybe he's hitting 400 now. They won't do it as much, but it's going to really help guys like him. The tall guys, it's really going to help.
Well, there's a lot of times this past series against the for the A's, this past series here against the Twins, there was a lot of questionable calls on some of the guys, and I'm thinking like challenge system because I think it was Taylor Walls of the Rays did it the other day where they tapped his helmet and the umpire just threw him out. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till this is here where people start doing this.
Isn't that great? Give him one of these, and he gives him one of these.
Also, a tired thing, baseball tradition is bitching from the dugout about balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Now we can get away with that. We can do away with that.
Yeah, because there's no question now. They're going to get it.
Umpires are going to look over and go, and this is what I like it for the umpires. Like if let's say Mark Kotsay or name the manager.
Aaron Boone.
He
always gets thrown out.
Is chirping. He can be like, well, why don't you keep your mouth shut and challenge it?
Yeah, that's true. You could.
You challenge it. Go right ahead, big boy.
But don't you miss the warts and the leave it in the jurisdiction of the umpire and, maybe not getting it right. I miss the arguments. I miss people kicking dirt on the umpire. I miss throwing the base out in right field like Lou Piniella did. I miss that stuff. I think it was funny. You want to attract people. Watching somebody get ticked off at somebody have a fight where they're spitting back and forth. So people like that stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me a father of a couple little kids says, I want to spend a couple $100. I want to pay what it is to park. Yeah. I want to spend all the money for tickets. I want to buy all the merch. I want to buy all the stuff because I want to see Lou Piniella go down and throw a bag. You think that's what Dad does? That's why he's coming to the game?
Yeah, I think so. I think kids can learn from it. Hey, don't do what Lou just did.
You guys are archaic dinosaurs.
I love that part of the game.
You're Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's who you are.
You don't like to see Tommy Lasorda waddle out there like this? Expend his lunch on the umpire on his chest when he's just yelling and screaming at him. I've been there with Tommy Lasorda, and stuff comes out. It does.
Tommy Lasorda getting thrown out and then blowing the kisses, walking down the right field line at Candlestick.
There you go.
But Bobby Cox coming out 8 million times, getting thrown out, did nothing for me.
Yeah.
It's the big league.
That was a little much. But I do like the arguments. There's discrepancies in life, Towny. You gotta go through them.
What business do you know of that doesn't want to get rid of human error? I'll wait. I'll wait.
Get rid of human error. Well, that's what makes baseball great.
What business says human error? I like it. It's good for business. Human error. I'm waiting.
How about getting a traffic ticket? The cop was wrong.
Welcome to 2025.
Actually, they're taking human error out of that too. They're now San Francisco and San Jose are two cities that are putting cameras everywhere. And if you run a red light, they'll know and they'll send you a $500 fine.
Ooh, that's bad. Okay.
We got AI, baby. Human error is out the door. Yep. These umpires. I'll never forget years ago when Outside the Line still existed on ESPN, and they did that. They did like a couple months worth of close calls around the bases. So we're not talking balls and strikes. We're talking about around the bases. And umpires were missing over like 30% of the calls.
Wow. Okay.
Do you know how many strikes and balls they miss night after night after night?
Yeah.
So if we know for sure that the challenge system fans like it, what is this? We still want the human error part with the umpire.
Well, because the game has become a little bit sanitized. There's no emotion in the game. Emotion's where would we be without emotion? You're a very sensitive man, Towny. Where would we be without emotion?
I'm a very volatile person. Yeah. I will admit that.
You're a very sensitive man. I know him.
I'm very volatile.
He looks tough and mean enough, but he's a teddy bear, this guy right here. He's a nice, sensitive man.
I've got issues, but this isn't about me.
Oh, you're soft.
Yeah. So
we don't have that drop though.
Hey, clowns in.
Yeah.
Oh, you're soft, aren't you?
I mean, at what point do you say,
yeah,
okay,
take that,
we don't want to be so robotic? Do you like the robotic part of it?
Hey, you know what I'd like, Steve? Put more balls in play.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Because you know what? We're trying to hurry this thing up. I don't need an old man in a uniform, which is also ridiculous. I don't need an old man in sanitaries coming out where it takes Bruce Bochy 20 minutes just to walk up to argue with the catcher and then another 20 minutes to walk back to the dugout when he's been thrown out. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Hurry it up.
Do you want him to sprint? He can't run.
I don't got all day. We're trying to make this game 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't need old men. Why
do you want to leave so fast? Don't you want to come and enjoy the fruits of the game?
No. 2 hours and 15, 20 minutes, and we're out.
I remember going to doubleheaders when I was a kid, and it was the seventh inning of the second game. Scheduled doubleheaders in San Francisco like once every 3 years, and we were going to leave, and I'm like, Dad, why are we leaving so early? There's 2 innings left.
Now we're talking about doubleheaders, my God.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave.
Also something that makes me hot. Do
Towny?
you want to give up your cell phone too now?
No, I'm just saying some people like going to the ballpark for a long time. It gets you out of the house.
Who?
Well, lots of people.
Everybody's leaving. You go to every ballpark. If it's a long game by the 7th inning, people are leaving.
Well, why do they come in the first place then?
Human beings do not want to sit in the same spot for 4 hours and watch a bunch of guys strike out and walk.
So 2.5 is okay, but not 4.
4 is way too long.
Okay, so where do you bend the line there? Where is it where you say, nope, cut off? Is it 2:45? Is it 3?
3's put. Okay, we've already established 3's way too long.
I think the average game time now is like 2:37.
That's like really fast.
Not really.
Some people, well, in Dodger Stadium, they're just getting to the park by then. Okay.
Well,
that's in the third inning.
That's their problem.
They're there like 45 minutes. They get there in the third inning. They leave in the 6th. Okay, they're there like 45 minutes.
Have we played a game that's been under 2 hours yet? I mean, when I say we, I mean like the A's. Have they played a game under 2 hours? I think there's only like one game under 2 hours.
We have not played fast games this year.
A lot of them. A lot of the games here have been like 3+.
You want to go back to where guys don't wear helmets?
No, that's they can wear helmets. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want anybody getting hurt. No,
what about gloves?
I'm a sensitive man.
No
too.
gloves? You want no gloves?
No, they can wear. That's fine.
Should the players ride on trains too?
No, that's
my grandfather was the MVP in 1947.
Really?
He rode on trains.
That's cool.
You want to go back to wool uniforms too?
That's a little hot. How about if we just stay east of the Mississippi games?
How much of a traditionalist do you want to be?
Well, the technology's come along. Come on now, Towny. We got airplanes and we got all that. I'm all for that. Come on, I'm a progressive person. I understand all that stuff.
Wow.
But I mean, just
interleague. You want to go back to 2 different leagues?
Yes, I think we should. I think we should go back to 1973. No DH. Pitchers have to hit the whole thing. That would be amazing. And listen,
you want pitchers to hit?
I got my leg sawed in half one time by Tim Raines. I actually got hit. I threw the ball. He was running on the pitch. It was a line drive to shortstop, a short hop. He threw to me. I threw it. Tim Raines hit me. I didn't even see first base. We did get the double play though. And I didn't even see first base. I came up and looked. Red sanitary. Opened it up on the field. My sanitary. I saw the bone in my leg. Okay, I'm not kidding you. I hobbled off. They went and they fixed it up. They put a butterfly in there, and I stayed in the game.
You want to go back to indoor plumbing?
No, that's good. Well, they have that in Chicago like that right now.
No Wi-Fi. What do you want to go back to?
Do you want a president of the American National League too, and no commissioner?
I think two leagues is two leagues. Listen. Don't you think it's watered down a bit when you go into postseason? We've already seen this rodeo. We've already been here during the season.
So you don't think it's good that let's just take Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge doesn't show up to every city? so all the kids and everybody can see them up close?
Well, let's look at the attendance.
From a business standpoint.
We can look at the attendance and see how that's been doing the last 7 years.
I can tell you when Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge show up, it goes up.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're different. They're different. There's no doubt about that. I love watching both those guys, and I would pay to watch those. I love the game. I still love it. A lot of changes being made, but I still love the game. And I know that you have to move forward with some of the changes, and I'm cool with that. I just don't like to put in the softball runner on second base within the 10th inning. I don't like it.
Since we're talking about traditional, do you like the 3-point line?
Yeah.
Now I'm going all sports.
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Right.
I do. I like 3-point line.
I know 3-point lines have really highly debated.
I like that.
Do you want to go back to playing football with no face mask?
You're going way back.
Leather
brother.
helmets.
You're going way back.
Should hockey goalies not wear masks?
No, they should.
You want to go back to the NFL where the forward pass is illegal?
Wow, you're going back to 1800s.
I'm just saying. If you want to be a traditionalist.
I'm a traditionalist. Yeah, traditionalist. Yes, I think
you really would want to go back to National League, American League, and they never playing each other?
Yeah, I think no DH and pitchers have to hit. I saw a game in 1977.
Can you imagine if the NFC never played the AFC in football? How ridiculous that is.
Well, football is its own game. I'm talking about baseball, bro. Really. I like
why does baseball feel that it's different than everybody else?
Because it just.
Can you imagine the Celtics never playing the Lakers?
No, they do.
Can you imagine Steph Curry never getting to play against Eastern Conference teams? Steph Curry never going to Madison Square Garden? That's basically what you're saying.
You're talking about basketball now, okay? I'm talking about baseball. Listen.
Why is baseball as a business different than the other sports?
Because let me give you one example. Baseball is the only sport where you're on offense and you don't have the ball. Okay, so let's start right there. You don't even have the ball and you're on offense.
What does that have to do with playing everybody?
You asked me how different it was. There you go. That's different. Every other sport's the same. Baseball's different. No ball, but you're on offense. How weird is that?
This is you guys. I'm just enjoying this.
I am too. I love riling Towny up. I love it.
I don't know where to go with that. I don't know where to go with that. So you want no interleague play, but you're cool with a clock and you're cool with the challenge
system. Clock. The challenges are cool. Yeah. I mean, the reason I say that is because I just remember how cool it was to rush home with day baseball in the playoff game. The first time I get to see the American League and the National League play against each other. I love that. It was so captivating to see what those other guys are like in the other league, in the postseason when it really counts. I love that. Don't you remember those days?
You want to go back to when Wrigley Field didn't have lights and they played all day games?
I was right on that transition of that.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
I saw both of them. Yeah, I didn't mind. I like day baseball.
Well, they didn't happen until 1988 is I think when they finally put lights in Wrigley.
Right. Mm-hmm. But do you remember, Towny? I'm telling you, coming home and watching a day game with a National and American League play. I remember, Clemente playing against the Orioles, the Pirates and Orioles. That was so awesome to see that.
Yeah, I don't because I was in school and World Series games were at night when I was a kid.
That's true. They were. Yeah.
Because we realized we want everybody to see it, so we have television played at night. We figured out that you get better ratings when people aren't at work and kids aren't at school.
Okay.
When you air games at night, more people have a chance to see it. We kind of figured that out over time.
Yeah.
Playing it in the day and having listened to it, and there'd be a broadcaster doing do you guys know how there'd be a guy that would do the fake noises, crack of the bat?
I didn't know that.
And it's a base hit to left field. And the Brooklyn Dodgers have just gone ahead of the New York Yankees.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I remember
having the radio.
I remember having a transistor radio sliding through my shirt up in math class and having it and listen to my transistor radio, listen to the game. Then when I got home, man, I was busting for the TV. But those were cool times, man.
You want to go back to VHS tapes and you want to go back to cassettes?
Well, I think you're
more of an 8-track guy, but that's
you want to go 8-tracks?
I think you guys are just extending them out a little too much.
Were you? This is probably Cody won't even. Were you beta or VHS?
VHS.
You were
definitely.
VHS.
Yeah, I was VHS. Yeah, but anyway,
Sax wants to go back in time. He's a traditionalist, Vito. No face masks in football.
I didn't say that.
Horse and buggy.
Yeah. 3-point line's gone.
No,
Steph Curry.
I
no
like
more.
the 3-point line, bro.
No.
Yeah. I do. I like most of it. No, I'm good with most of it.
Chuck Taylor high tops. We're going back shorts. We're going back.
Well,
baby.
those are actually back, but that's
the shorts.
They're not
that short. But the 5-inch inseam are those are what guys.
How
are
about my
now.
Pacers?
That shot. I know that shot. Halliburton hit with 3.3 seconds left. That's a big shot.
I go back to Rick Smits and the boys. I've been a big Pacers fan.
Rick Smits.
All my time in Indiana.
I mean, it is basketball heaven there.
Yeah.
French Lick, Indiana, home of.
Oh, that's a
Larry
great Larry Bird.
Thank you.
Is everybody in a quandary about having the playoffs in the Midwest now? Is that what you're? I mean, everybody's talking about who's in the finals now.
Oklahoma City and the Pacers. People are not happy that because Adam Silver talked about it, and this ties into baseball. He goes, you guys are talking about how this is small markets, Oklahoma City, Indiana. He goes, but if it was Pittsburgh and Green Bay and the Super Bowl, you guys would be talking about how it's two championship or not championship legacy teams essentially playing, but here it's two small market teams playing, and it's not good for the NBA. But if it was Steelers, Packers, the tradition and all that,
I get that.
The only sport we really ever do that in is baseball. Now they're doing it basketball because the ratings are going down. They're like, well, no one's going to watch Indiana and the Thunder.
What about the Cubs and the Indians when they played in the World Series? That was an amazing World
2016,
Series.
That was a great World Series.
Great World Series.
Well, Cubs are considered big market, Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's not
true.
Apples to apples comparison. The comparison here is you got two essentially the flyover states.
Yeah.
And you don't have the coastal elites.
Well, even 2 years ago in the World Series when it was Rangers and Diamondbacks, everyone's like, "Oh, this is small markets." Those are two of the biggest TV markets in the country.
Yeah,
Phoenix and Dallas Metroplex.
The Dallas Metroplex was what, like 4th,
and Phoenix is like what
10th.
Yeah, so they're two top 10 teams. We're saying how they're small markets.
Yeah. Well, if it's not New York or LA, it's there's something wrong.
Yes.
Something wrong
if it's not one of those or Boston, or Chicago, no, and everyone's like, "No, this isn't good for the sport."
Yeah. Right.
I think the NBA. I thought Game 1 of the NBA Finals that I did see was really good.
I thought that game was. I watched it, and I haven't watched NBA all year.
I thought the Thunder would sweep the Pacers. Well, I was wrong.
Well, you're a Kings fan.
Yeah,
but I'm rooting for the Thunder.
Okay, right.
It's like they built their team through tanking. They're full Astros, and they got a bunch of draft picks.
All right. On that note, now that we're praising the Astros and the Oklahoma City Thunder, we're going to talk to the mayor of Sacramento and the mayor of West Sacramento. I'm looking at them right now, and I think they're nervous. I think the crowd, you're going to get up there and you got to get – are we going to see some heat from the mayors?
Oh, that would be good. We'll let them just sit down here and go at it.
No, heat on them. They're throwing out first pitch.
Oh, I thought they were going to go through a debate or something on here on the set. We'll just watch them.
Are you the moderator?
Yeah, I'll be the moderator. I'll just sit in between.
Steve Sachs, you're a beauty, my friend. We're talking to mayors next right here on A's Cast Live.
New A's Hall of Famer Barry Zito joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live to talk about his relationship with Mark Mulder and Tib Hudson.
Hudson was the kind of guy that set the tone. I think he came up first in 99 and obviously had that big split finger. And, me and Mulder were wherever we were at that point, watching him on TV and being like, wow. And then, then Mulder came up after that and I came up kind of more in the middle of that 2000 season. And I think that we didn't really know we're going to be together. But I think, once the rotation established itself at the end of that year, 2000, and all of us were pitching in the playoffs, we're like, oh, okay, this is like kind of a special thing. Like we're all, 22, 23, 24, whatever it was, pitching in big postseason games, right? Not just having the games in the regular season.
I mean, you're at Yankee Stadium. You're at Fenway Park. You're in the biggest venues in the game.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and I think part of that was that we didn't totally know what we were going up against, right? You're just young. You're like shooting for the stars. You're trying to get to the big leagues, and when you do, you're trying to just like, oh my gosh, I've been watching all guys on TV, for years. Now I'm pitching against them. So it's very surreal in the early stages of being in the big leagues because you're just running on full adrenaline, and I think all of us were doing that. But it was really fun to watch Mulder, like on Friday, kind of his sinker, and then like let's say Huddy would come through on a Saturday, day after, and he's trying to make sure he holds up his end of the deal. And then if I was watching a Sunday day game, so in a way it was like we were competing, but really it's like you just didn't want to be the guy that was going to screw it up,
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
comes to knocking it out of the park, nobody beats Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is a 7-time Triple Crown Award winner, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, for being the best in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Step up to the plate for our biggest selection of new Ford models, including the legendary F-150, on sale now. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters in the Folsom Auto Mall. FolsomLakeFord.com.
That ball is out of here.
Calling all college and grad students. Grab your friends and head to the ballpark with this special offer. Save up to 50% off select regular season games throughout the 2025 season. Get your discounted tickets at athletics.com/student.
Streaming from West Sacramento, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Well, I was asked, would I like to have the mayors on the show because they're going to be here on Friday? I'm like, of course. Kevin McCarty, the mayor of Sacramento, and Martha Guerrero, the mayor of West Sacramento, here with me on A's Cast Live. I want you to know I've been in your shoes before, not as mayor, but throwing out the first pitch.
Oh, high stakes.
Are we ready to go today?
I'm ready to go.
I think so. Yeah, we're going from the mound. We're doing it.
That's
okay,
right.
I was nervous, but what I did is I went and warmed up, and I was like, I'm going to make sure I bring it. Are we bringing it today?
I'm going to do my best.
Well, I warmed up yesterday, and my arm is still sore because I'm 53, but we got it. We got it.
It's like riding a bike. You're going to be ready to rock.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be very important, obviously, with the athletics here now in West Sacramento and also everything that we're doing in Sacramento. To see both of you up there is very special. So both of you, what does it mean that the two mayors doing this together? Because you could have done it individually. Doing it together, what does it mean for both?
Yeah, you go first.
It's a team effort, and that's what this is all about. Regionally, we all have a partnership and are benefiting from having the A's present for our entire region.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I said, hey, Mayor Guerrero, let's do this first pitch together. Yeah, show that the ballpark is in West Sacramento. Sacramento's just across the river. But this is a big deal for our region, our community. Having professional baseball in my hometown is surreal. You know, I grew up watching Billy Ball and Ricky Henderson, Tony Armas, Dwayne Murphy. Driving down to Oakland to see the A's playing here in Sacramento is a big, big deal.
No doubt about it. To see these teams, I mean, obviously it was huge for this area to get the Kings years ago and to see all the NBA stars and the great players and the new arena that has been built and what that has brought to your guys' area. But now to also have Major League Baseball, to where you have the best players in the world coming to your area. So let's just talk about what Major League Baseball and the A's has meant. Let's start for West Sacramento.
West Sacramento, all of our businesses are doing so much better. They've told me that their businesses have boomed, and it's bringing in more revenue for both the city and the business themselves. So we're pretty happy with the outcome. We didn't expect it to be as good, but it's great.
Yeah, you know, we've had the Kings since the mid '80s. We've had the River Cats here in minor league baseball since 2000. So we've had professional sports here, but having Major League Baseball and seeing, you know, all-stars out here playing here at this field is a big, big deal. And look, we realize that the A's have plans to move to Vegas in a couple years, but a few years that they're here in Sacramento means a lot to our city, and it puts us on the national stage to hopefully get more professional sports franchises. We're trying to get an MLS soccer team here. We're voting on a stadium this week at Sacramento City Hall. And you know, and the commissioner was here a few months ago and talked about the potential for Sacramento to be an expansion team. And we're seeing this as like a trial run to put us on the map and in the conversation for that down the road.
Oh, that is huge. To get an MLS team, that would be big. And then also what we've talked about, it's kind of like, you know, for us being here, it's a chance to help showcase both of your
That's
cities.
right.
It's a chance to show Major League Baseball what you can do.
That's exactly it. We've been able to get all the upgrades within a year, so that this is all up to Major League Baseball standards, and we can make that happen for a permanent team. That's why we're here working together, because it's a regional effort.
No, and also, you know, when you think about Sacramento, you've proven keeping the Kings, which was such a big deal, and showing for the economy what it means to add more sports teams is so beneficial.
Yeah, so during the thick and thin, or in the Kings playoff years, we sold out. But even during the lean years, they were selling out games over there. And, now we have two teams. We have a game here pretty much every night, as we know, over here at Sutter Health Park with the River Cats and the A's. And we're doing well and thriving, especially in the summer with warmer weather, kids out of school. You'll see it really pick up in June and July and August. And so, we think this is an opportunity to further showcase Sacramento as a pro sports city. And we're excited.
Yeah, I remember the first couple of times that we came here, and it was for two of our players had signed. Luis Severino had signed the biggest free agent contract, and then Lawrence Butler with a big extension. And I remember, I'll give two plugs out. We went to Morton's Steakhouse for one, and then Frank Fats for the other.
Those are good.
And they both talked to, and when we went in there, everybody talked to us about how important it was to have the A's here in the summertime. Like, as you mentioned, remember, McCarty, that it was that as it gets hot, some of the local places don't see as much traction when it comes to the restaurant industry or the bar industry, which we already know in the state of California, the restaurant and bar industry employ more Californians. I'm in the restaurant business outside of this, so I know this kind of stuff. It more people are working in the restaurant and bar industry than any other industry in the state of California. So to have the A's here in the summertime, as you mentioned, is huge, because these restaurants and these bars have people going into it that may not be going if the A's weren't here.
And that's so true. I mean, we love the Kings here, but let's face it, sometimes at Kings games, it's in January when it's cold and rainy. Baseball is nice weather, long days here in Sacramento, opportunity to go along the riverfront on the West Sac and Sacramento side. So we have heard that our restaurateurs here are really excited. So we're going to do our best for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is here, the A's are playing. And then, we'll go forward from there.
No doubt. And let's talk about the same thing for West Sacramento, because I've been to a bunch of places right around here. The bottom. It's packed after games.
Oh, it sure is. And our restaurateurs are so excited to be able to bring in that flow, that foot traffic that, was quieter before, as Mayor McCarty said, and now it's booming. We see a lot of people hanging out, having a drink or getting a bite to eat. And those games are boosting their businesses.
And the fact that you have basically games every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a different, now with the River Cats and the Athletics, it's games every single day.
That's right. Every single day we see the field full of people. And they are able to come in early and watch, what's going on if you're a season ticket holder. But they do enjoy hanging out, taking the afternoon off, or going to a day game when there are day games, and spending time throughout, in our businesses. That's what's real exciting about this for us.
Yeah, in Sacramento, we've been a baseball city for a long time. We had the Solons here in the Pacific Coast League over there at across the river in Sacramento, where the old Target is, for people that don't know. And, we lost them 50 years ago, and then we got AAA. So we've always been a city that's really supported Major League Baseball. And for decades, we got on 80 and drove to see the Giants or the A's in the Bay Area. So we have been a Major League supporting a region for a long time. So, we're just trying to show that we can step it up. And if by chance we have an opportunity for an expansion team, we're ready right here in Sacramento.
Well, that's the thing. When you think about the rich history of Sacramento baseball, obviously I'm doing the show with Steve Sachs, who is from West Sacramento.
Yes,
and you think about Dusty Baker and Fernando Vina and Greg Vaughn and on and on and on. Sacramento has such a great history of players who have not only been, because I know Sac City has been dominant in community college baseball. Sac State's getting much better. You got UC Davis has been good, but just the history of all the great players who have come from Sacramento is unbelievable.
Great players. I want to name one more player. My high school teammate. I wasn't a good high school baseball player, but my teammate was a 15-year major leaguer, Derek Lee. Played for the Cubs and won a World Series with the Marlins. We played together at El Camino High School and the Padres. Yeah. So, we've had a ton of baseball players coming up through Sacramento. So we're a baseball city, and we're going to support Major League sports and baseball here.
That's right.
That's where you're supposed to lie, and you're supposed to say, I carried that guy in high school.
No, that's not true. I'm in politics. He's a former major leaguer, but he's doing great. And his dad and his uncle also were major leaguers come out at Grant High School. So we have an amazing baseball legacy here in Sacramento.
Well, I got to tell you, as someone who grew up in Southern California, I actually grew up in San Diego, so we didn't do field trips up here, but I've lived my entire adult life in the Bay Area. So my kids took the trip up here with school to go to the Capitol. So for the first time that I've been living here now, I just think it kind of reminds me of DC every single night when I cross the bridge and I see the Capitol all lit up. You have to be very proud. It's an interesting town because this is a government town. This is a town where everybody from California, all of our elected officials, the people we've elected, and even non-elected officials are all coming here to do business. It's something that a lot of people don't think about. It's what's so special about Sacramento is this is where everything gets done.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, California is the
Statewide.
4th largest economy in the world. We're the state capital.
That's right.
We are a government town, but also we're a region with 2.5 million people. 500,000 people in the city of Sacramento. I think 60,000 here in West Sacramento. So we have other industries as well. And we've been booming. We're one of the top cities as far as people moving into it in the last year. Sacramento is a destination. So that further helps our quest to be a professional sports city.
How much have you talked to Rob Manfred?
I have not. I'd love to, but I listened to his words. And when he was here a few months ago,
yes,
he said the words expansion. It wasn't a question. He used that's in the horizon for Major League Baseball, and Sacramento really is a contender. So we're viewing this as a trial run. We're going to put on our best effort for the next 3-4 years and be ready to step it up. Whether we have a Major League Stadium here in West Sac or across the river in Sac, we have multiple locations that are primed to be a Major League Baseball stadium.
So I'm figuring something big like this is something you two would have to collaborate on.
Well, it would be something we would be able to share the opportunity with the entire region, and it would be something we would collaborate on, making sure that everyone that is wanting to come in and watch the game, that we work collaboratively and making sure their attendance is safe. And business-wise, I think we do such a great job in working together on making sure all the businesses thrive, because that partnership is what makes things happen out here. And and I thank Mayor McCarty for putting us together out there on the mound. And we're also looking to welcome our youth for play ball weekend next Saturday.
Yeah, that is in the baseball softball game, and at athletics.com/playball. That's going to be. We got face painting, we got giveaways, we got all these different stations and everything. This is going to be a big game that you have going on in West Sacramento.
That's right. We'll have Stomper and Dinger there. We'll have a lot of kids who's going to have fun, and it's all about having fun. And that's what's important.
No doubt about it. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. It truly means a lot to all of us. And thank you for hosting us. I've had a great time since I've been up here. I'm staying down. Obviously, I'm here every single day and staying downtown and going up to Midtown and all the different places that I've been able to go. The city is absolutely they've been so warm and welcoming. It's been a lot of fun, and restaurants are I highly recommend all over Sacramento. I was up in Roseville today. It's beautiful. So there's a lot of different areas. I have over 10 college. I played college in baseball in the Bay Area, and I have over 10 college roommates, not all roommates, but some roommates, some guys that I played with, over 10. It's like 12 guys have moved up here. So there's there's so many different people from the Bay Area that have moved up to your guys' region.
Especially since the pandemic, more and more, and that just furthers our quest to be a major league sports city. We have been since the 80s with the Kings, and we're stepping it up, and let's go A's.
Well, let's go you guys on the mound today. Remember, when you're up on the mound, think about aiming high.
Okay.
Because throwing off the mound, you're going to come down the mound, and people don't think about that. That's why most people throw in the dirt. So when you're looking at your target, right, you're looking at whoever's catching it.
Yep.
Think about throwing it at their head or a little bit over their head.
Okay.
And that's how you'll get it right to their chest.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
I thank Tanner for helping me with my pitching lessons.
So good luck to you today.
Thank you.
All right, earlier today we had our chance to sit down with Mark Kotsay. It's time for the Mark Kotsay Show. Now time for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast Live, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford. Kotz, it's good to talk to you after a win yesterday. That had to feel good for you guys, your staff, and the players.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been through a tough stretch. There's been a lot of adversity, a lot of challenging moments for this group, and yesterday was a great day. We always talk about how difficult it is to win in the big leagues and to make sure you celebrate it. Yesterday was family day post game, so it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, we had a lot of your players with the young kids coming up here on our set taking pictures, and it takes me back to a lot of things that you talk about, and I think it goes back to a lot of your stops in baseball is that we can't forget about away from the field. You can't forget about family. You can't forget about wives. You can't forget about kids. You got to have a life away from baseball because it helps your life in baseball.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You've got to be able to kind of separate it, get away from the game, especially when things aren't going well. And, at times we take it home with us, obviously, and that's just because we care. And obviously, in my situation, my position as the manager of this club, I can tell you that it's been challenging over the last, 20 games to find joy, to find that peace, and to be able to get a good night's sleep, really.
And you have to put a good face on it. So how tough is that for you? And I know no one's going to cry for any of us and what we're going through right now.
And they shouldn't.
No. I know your wife showed up in Toronto because she, you were struggling a little bit, and just, it's how tough is it for you because you have to still put on a good face for the other coaches and the players?
Well, I mean, I have to bring the energy, and there's no question about that. There's we talk about it post game every night when we're going through these challenging times. That tomorrow's a new day, and again, today's a new day. The process of the support group, right, that you have around you is really important. And I've got a lot of great friends and mentors in the game that obviously when you go through tough times, you get that support, you get that messaging, and you get that encouragement. And that's really what the players need as well. When there's not lack of success on the field, they need to know that there's still a lot of season left. There's still a lot of opportunity for us to get this turned around and to continue to build for our future.
I like the way you've been kind of changing some things, like going with the opener. Like, why not? Like when you're in a stretch where when things aren't going good and it starts happening on a daily basis, I like the idea of mix it up.
Yeah, and there's something about consistency, right? There's something about routine that players like. But if those routines aren't, at the time leading to that success, and there is something about changing it up. We're going to enter a period right now that obviously it's getting hotter in Sacramento. There's going to be change to our pregame preparation, so that the players can just feel great when they take the field every day. And so there's a lot of different things to manage. And I think, our group in there is working through those challenges and figuring it out.
Well, and also the openers made so much sense because certain guys that you have had, their struggles have been in the first and potentially in the second. And then after that, they tend to settle down. That's kind of what the definition of the opener is to help.
Yeah, it's twofold, really. It is to help the starter if they've had, a couple rough outings to get them out of the bullpen, get them in a different position, and it's also to get those bullpen guys that have struggled in those leverage areas to go out and know that, okay, if I give up a run, I'm not costing the team the game. There's 8 more innings for this club to come back. And I think we saw that, Sterner opened, gave up a run. We end up getting back in the game. And so there's some amount of pressure that they feel in those late inning situations that, I lost us the game. When I always talk about it's not just one pitch, there's always plays in the game that could lead to us losing a 1-run game that you don't reflect on, you don't look at, but you just look at that one pitch in the 8th inning that was made. And, that's something that we talk a lot about as well.
So I kind of said it yesterday before the game. We're going to do it again today. It's kind of like Stella got her groove back because you've mentioned to us and David Forrest about how this is a team that's built on home runs and slug. And those last 21 games, you'd hit 19 home runs, but 10 of them had been solo. So you're starting to see some more balls go out of the ballpark and with guys on. You got that yesterday in the win. Did you feel like, this is what we're supposed to look like?
Well, I mean, you always feel like it's going to happen. And yesterday to have it happen, it definitely, it helps the morale. It helps that confidence level. Guys took great at bats yesterday. Yesterday was a day that we talked a lot about just win the pitch. We simplified it down to just win a pitch. And you saw that yesterday. And we got the reward, right? A couple great at bats from several different guys. And anytime you can get out to the lead, build some cushion for those back end guys. It helps in every way.
You said something. We weren't able to air it yesterday on the post-game show. You said something I hear at the end of your press conference with the media after the game saying, hey, we're still in this.
You always are until you're eliminated, right?
No doubt.
Until there's an X next to the name, you're always.
Expand on that. You still believe.
You have to believe. I mean, that's what we play for. And, we talk about it a lot. Like, this young group is learning how to win. We won out of the gate. We've gone through a lot of adversity and a lot of challenging times, and they're going to learn from that. We just have to, again, prepare ourselves just to play one game. And just have that mindset that yes, we still have the chance. We're not eliminated. We understand the challenges in front of us to climb back in this thing. You just saw this Baltimore team. I think they're coming in here as good as they've played baseball.
No doubt.
And we've run into some teams like that. The Angels swept the Dodgers. They came in here on a high level of confidence. They ran through us. So the schedule doesn't get easier. But again, I bring the Baltimore team up as an example. They're playing better baseball. They're on a 6-game or 7-game win streak, and they just swept Seattle in Seattle.
Yeah, they won 6 in a row. So we have talked a lot about that. Like everybody who's come to Sacramento, it seems like, has been on a heater.
Yeah,
right? As you mentioned.
You can say that.
Philadelphia was doing historic stuff. I mean, it can go on and on, but as you said, it's the big leagues, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to play against the best. Mason Miller, good to see him get into the game yesterday. How tough is that? Your best arm in the bullpen. It's been hard to get him into games.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to jeopardize his opportunity to close a game the next day if that's if the chance presents itself. And so it's a balancing act in a way to save him for that opportunity, but then not have that opportunity come about. And I think Mason had, going into yesterday, had thrown once in the last 10 days. So it's also a confidence thing for Mason that he's got to get out there. He's got to touch the slope. He's got to compete. So we're trying to kind of figure out the best way when we are, losing games and not in games, to manage his workload, to get him on the mound, but yet limit the pitch count. And I think yesterday, you never want a closer in the game in a 14-3, lead, but Mason wanted to pitch. He felt he needed to be on the mound. You give the player that opportunity and you back him up. As you saw yesterday, McFarland was behind him and Mason's pitch count was 15, so that he'd be available for the next 2 days.
Unfortunately, your catcher goes on the IL. That's tough. Shea Langoliers dealing with some injuries right now without Andujar. We saw that you talked about the other day I look out there and I got rookie here, rookie there, rookie there. Just tough for the injury. Seth Brown is now back. Johnny Pareda has been brought back up. So it'll be Pareda, McIver will be your two guys behind. But just talk about how tough that is to lose Shea, because he's just not your catcher. He's more than that.
Shea's been the backbone for this is going his third full season, and he hasn't had one injury. And that's amazing for a catcher to not miss a game outside of just the day of rest. And so, to have Shea sustain his first injury, his first real injury, it's going to impact the offense for sure. He was a middle of the order bat, and anytime you lose 2 middle of the order bats, they're tough to replace. As you mentioned, Seth Brown's back. He went to AAA again this season and dominated AAA, hitting 500, I think 6 or 7 home runs in the 15-day stretch that he was down there. So we're hoping that we get that hot bat and we can get that bat in the lineup this weekend.
Yeah, he was Babe Brown. You're right. 7 home runs, hitting exactly 500. I mean, he was absolutely dominant in Las Vegas. So when you say ride the hot bat, do we expect him in the lineup the next couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, he's not in there tonight. He's got an opportunity to come in and pinch hit tonight for sure. And, he'll be out there in the lineup this weekend.
When you start looking at sending guys down and kind of hitting the reset button, you did that last year with Lawrence Butler and some guys. We saw that. We talked to Max Muncy about that. And Max Muncy admits that, you're up here, then you go down, you really realize what you need to do. And when you come back, the adjustments and things maybe slowed down a little bit. Obviously, Muncy with the big 3-run home run, and if you can get Brown going again, what is it about going down there and hitting that reset button?
Yeah, I wish I could put my finger on it. I do think that the game, when they come back, it slows down One, they get down there, they have some confidence, and that's why they earn their opportunity to come back. So they're coming back feeling better about themselves. And then the game itself slows down. And I think you're right. You know, the experience that Muncy got here for the first 20-plus games is going to help him now in this role that he's in and contributing to this club.
Let's have a good weekend and get some more wins and some more handshakes and feeling good after ball games.
That's right. Let's do that.
It's the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast Live, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford. Yeah, how about that? Get some wins. You know, it is crazy that every single team, and I was going over it yesterday in the postgame show, that every single team that's come here in recent memory, they've been red hot. Twins came here with the best record in baseball from May 3rd on. Orioles have now won 6 in a row. Philly was doing historic things. They end up, by the time they got here, they had the best record in baseball.
And they're on a double-digit winning streak.
The Angels had just swept the Dodgers for the first time since 2010. Yankees were rolling when they got here. The Mariners were rolling when they got here. The only 2 teams that weren't rolling when they got here were the Rangers and the White Sox, and that was in April. Padres were red hot when they came here. Mets were hot when they came here. And the Cubs, that was the start of the season. So basically, other than 2 opponents, everybody has been red hot when they've been entering the series against the A's.
And that's not something you see all the time. Like every team that's been here, they've been, I mean, and they're coming here hitting. Like we talked about how well the A's got to hit it. Every team has been good that they've been here. So now seeing the Orioles, who are starting to come around, they're still 11 games under 500, but
yeah, they're done. But they've won 6 in a row, and they went from having a 5.49 ERA to the last 6 games of 1.67. So they have started to figure it out. All right, do we need to pause?
Yeah,
let's pause for station identification right here on A's Cast. All right, coming up next, it is Johnny and Ken Korach.
Yep. And then we're back on Monday at 5 o'clock. No, 4:30.
Yeah, we're changing the show. We're not going to be starting at 4:30 anymore. We're going to start at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 o'clock here, and then the roads, we'll see.
All right, coming up next, it's going to be Johnny and the Hall of Famer Ken Korach, and I'll talk to you at 6:30.
For just $25, fans can sit in the general admission outfield grass for all regular season home games. Tickets for that day's game will open up daily at 9 a.m. for purchase at athletics.com/lawn. Sign up to receive A's alerts to receive a text the first morning of each home series as a reminder. For more information, visit athletics.com/lawn. This has been a